Good morning, everyone. My virtual morning greetings to our division officials, our two Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Faustino Turaggio and Dr. Danilo Udiluzao, our OIC CID Chief, Dr. Carmela Restificar, our SGOD Chief, Dr. Desiderio Dere Delihero, to all our section heads, and of course to our education program supervisors, public schools district supervisors, our principals, school heads, head teachers or teacher in charge, and to all of you, our dear classroom teachers. Based on the amended calendar of DepEd, March 15 to 19 will be the Inset. It is dedicated for the teachers to have an in-service training after the second quarter of the school year. And so, in line with it, our office issued Division Memorandum 137 Series of 2021, and this is all about virtual in-service training of teachers 2021. We ensure that you, our dear teachers, will be safe from the threat of COVID-19. That is why we issued a memo that it is virtual Inset. And this is also aligned with the national issuances that calls for a virtual Inset. In fact, USEC Alain del Pascua has a 1-week seminar focused on the different ICT topics. However, I told our very active senior education program specialist for human resource and learning development, Dr. Marite Semini, that we will give our teachers an option. So for those teachers who are teaching IT or ICT, or those teachers that wants to learn more on ICT, then we will let them join the virtual training on ICT conducted by the ICTS under the leadership of USEC Alain Pascua. And so I told Dr. Simini, for those teachers that perhaps cannot learn well when it comes to ICT because they have no idea yet, or they have less idea on ICT, so they cannot grasp well for topics that are a little bit advanced. So that's why, and to avoid you, our dear teachers, to avoid you so that you will not be overburdened with activities during the Inset, we then again agreed with our HRLD under the SGOD. We agreed, and with knowledge of our OIC CID chief, that Monday and Friday shall be considered as a school-based level Inset. Why school-based? Because it is expected that each school will conduct his or her uh, activity. So we presume that yesterday, March 15, you conducted your school-based inset, and we believe and we conceptualized that the first day, March 15, will be used by the school to look into the first and second quarter, meaning you have to assess what has been done right and what has been done wrong, or those that needs improvement. You have to revisit the way you prepare the SLM, the way you deliver the SLM, the way you assess your learners, everything. You will do it on March 15. Then on the last day, March 19, go back to school-based level na naman. What you will do is to plan. It might be a matter of planning on what will be the best thing you do for the third and fourth quarter, knowing that for kinder to grade 3, it will be the reproduction materials will be at our level. And yes, we receive funding for the kinder to grade 3, but it is not enough for all the learners, because based on the instruction that we receive, the materials that will be given to us, or that is the amount given to us to procure the materials, the locally produced materials for kinder to grade 3, is for 1:3 ratio, meaning one module for 3 learners. So in that scenario, you have to think on the last day how you will distribute the materials once you will receive it, if it is 1:3 ratio. And also we decided that I think the first 4 or first 5 weeks shall be at the level, or it shall be the school who will produce wholly the SLM, or the last for kinder to grade 3, since we have to undergo first the bidding process and the time constraint. Even if we will count the shortest possible time for bidding, which is 28 days, so therefore we cannot distribute, or we cannot start distributing the procured materials at the start of the third quarter, which is March 22. So therefore, in our discussion with the CID, with our LR supervisor, that we will produce the bids at our committee will have the bidding wherein the specific modules to be produced does not include the first few weeks in the third quarter. And again, as I said, the copies for the last is not 1:1 based on the budget given. So therefore, I am requesting each school to plan out how you will distribute, how will you do the carousel in the distributing last. Or if not, if you want another scenario, just connect with our LR supervisor. On the other hand, for March 16 to 18, it will be, again, as I mentioned a while ago, uh, we want to avoid overburdening teachers. And so that's why I instructed at our Human Resource and Learning Development SEPS, Dr. Simini, that we will let our teachers on March 16 to 18 view a virtual seminar through the Facebook Live DepEd Tayo Bohol, because in that way you will not be overburdened of preparing the different topics to be discussed during the inset. And so, if you will notice, starting today, topics are both division and national. We pick up some important concerns at the division, and we also select some important topics coming from the national, so that again, you will just open the Facebook Live DepEd Tayo Bohol and you can watch our virtual inset from March 16 to 18. And in fact, if you will notice again in our memorandum, in the afternoon there are topics, but those are optional topics, meaning if you are interested, then please watch those topics as mentioned or as stated, and in the afternoon of March 16 to 18. But then again, our point that the afternoon is optional, because we believe also that you need time, especially on the preparation of materials. So we give space for you to prepare your materials for distribution to the learners on the next week, which is the third quarter. So hopefully you understand why we do this kind of strategy of delivering the inset. Again, this is specifically designed to avoid you from being overburdened of preparing the materials for inset and having different or heavy requirements or assignments or workshop outputs. Another is with regards to your participation, we clearly specify. It was clarified in DepEd Memorandum number 148, series up to 2021, that basically this virtual inset is again designed to avoid the teachers from the threat of COVID-19. So that's why it's expected that you will conduct the activity virtually. But it doesn't mean that you cannot come to the school. You can come to the school, but you will not gather in one place. You will just stay in your room and watch the activity virtually. Even the school-based activity, you can do it virtually. So if you are in school doing it virtually, then you are entitled to meal allowance. It is specified what's the maximum allowable expense per day per participants. However, if you will do the virtual attendance at home, then we are very sorry that we cannot grant your meal allowance since you are just in your home. If and when the school decided that on March 15 and 19 you will really do the face-to-face, that will happen only if you have the approval of or from the local government units. And for those teachers who will really opt to be at home, then so be it. As long as you are still attending the virtual training or Inset, then still you are counted as participants of the 2021 Inset. So, to all of you, my dear teachers, we wish you good luck. And the only thing that I hope and I wish that we can what we call this, we can survive with this pandemic and we can move forward. And despite the pandemic, we will be able to prove to our government and to our stakeholders that whatever the situation is, we are still ready and we are resilient and we can easily adapt the situations, and we have to prove that we in the Department of Education can and will always abide to all issuances that will ensure our health and safety, because we need to balance, we need to work, we need to serve our clients, but always bear in your mind that we have to take care of ourselves also. Allow me to end my message by sharing you a story. I have shared this story in some areas or districts that I visited or in a seminar that I attended, but allow me to share this again, or in short, allow me to do the repeat this story. This is a story about an applicant wherein one day he was interviewed by the human resource officer. Then during the interview, he was instructed that for 1 hour he has to tour around the biggest, or he has to turn around the, what shall we say, turn around or tour around the places, no? Because the office facility of that company is so big, so it will take him 1 hour to tour around. So the instruction, tour around our offices so that you will be familiar, you can familiarize with the different places of our office, but you have to bring with you a spoon full of oil. So meaning, padalon siya og kutsara na puno sa mantika, no? A, a tablespoon full of oil. And so without hesitation, he moved out, bring with him the tablespoon with the oil, and tore around the area or the campus or the offices of those company. And so after 1 hour, he returned to the office of the HRMO, and he was then now questioned or asked by the HRMO, what have you seen in our offices within 1 hour? And then he said, I have not seen any, because I am watching the oil in the tablespoon. So wala siya nakita, ni-tour siya, pero wala niya makita ang mga manindot, no? Mga manindot ng mga talanahon, because iyahang gisiguro nga dili mayabo ang mantika. But then again, the HRMO said, no, you have to go back. I will give you another 1 hour. You have to go back and, no, you have to go back, and after 1 hour, be sure to narrate to me the beautiful places and offices in this company. You should have to see our swimming pool that has been finished within 10 years. You have to see the different beautiful spots. And so he then again go out and start roaming around, still bringing with him the tablespoon with the oil. And without much ado, after 1 hour, he reported back to the HRMO. And then the HRMO asked him, can you now narrate what have you seen within 1 hour? And so that applicant eagerly narrated the places, the offices, the structures that struck him, because it is quite beautiful and unusual. But when the HRMO officer asked him, where is now the oil in your tablespoon? And he said, it was spilled because I am not looking at the oil, because I am looking at the different beautiful places in this compound. My dear teachers, do you know what's the final remarks of the HRMO officer? The HRMO officer said, I am sorry, I cannot hire you, because what we want is a person or an employee who can do or who can look at beautiful spots, beautiful places, or who can do any extraordinary things, but must be able to always take good care of the task given to him. So, my dear teachers, Are you considering that you are bringing the oil every day? Now I will tell you. For me, the oil that is placed in the tablespoon in the story is your health. Not only your health, but even your professional development. So no matter how big or how huge or how complicated are your assignments given to you by your school heads, but be sure that you will not give attention to your health as well as your professional development. Because I noticed that there are some teachers who are very good, who are doing well, but when you ask, what is your title now? What is your item? Will just answer me, still teacher 1, still teacher 2. Why? Because they are just focusing on the task given to them, but they forgot already that they have to grow professionally. And especially this pandemic, not only to grow professionally, but to ensure that every day you are healthy and safe from COVID-19. So if you think that you are not safe, then just inform your school head that you will just do it at home, especially if you are not feeling well. Do not force your body to report to school if you know that you are not feeling well, because you will just be a carrier if and when you are already positive. It is just very simple. And also for the school heads, do not be too strict, and let us again, for this time of pandemic, let us always look into our health and safety. With that, my dear teachers, school heads, and supervisors, let us continue doing our job as public servant without losing sight of our health and our professional development. Good luck, good health, God bless everyone, because in Deped Bohol, we care for all. Be whole, Bohol.